At 5, a sea of red. Thousands of teachers making their voices heard at the State House.
We're still here and we're not going anywhere until we get the public funding that we need.
Educating state lawmakers about the issues they call critical to the future of public education in the state.
If there's one thing you can say to lawmakers right now, what would it be?
Listen to teachers, respect us as professionals, fund public classrooms.
The Red for Ed rallying cry, put teachers and kids first.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
And now at 5, take a look at this. Teachers with a message hoping state lawmakers will listen.
Funding for public schools and increased pay and concerns about testing and licensing. Well, they came by the thousands, taking a day off work to show a united front to put those issues before lawmakers.
We have team coverage tonight of this massive Red for Ed rally, speaking with teachers and lawmakers about this important day. We begin with RTV6's Stephanie Wade.
Just take a look at this sea of people behind me. We've been marching alongside them all morning, hearing their stories of what brought them out today. And of course, looking at all of these signs. This sign right here actually caught my eye. My second job bought this sign. This is a real issue.
Yes, absolutely. This is my 6th year teaching and I have never not worked a second job.
Teachers, where are you guys coming from?
Evansville, Indiana.
From all across the state. How long have you been a teacher?
34 years now.
And what about today is making you come out here and fight for this? With different backgrounds, different experience.
I'm tired of state legislators who have absolutely no idea what's going on in the classroom, telling classroom teachers how to do their job.
But yet, the same frustrations. It was a far drive. What was it that brought you out today? What are you fighting for? Who are you fighting for?
Well, we're fighting for our students first and foremost because we need more funding to properly bring in supplies and stuff for the kids.
I can't afford to pay my bills. I can't afford rent. I can't afford insurance and everything without working a second job. It's not possible.
Did you think you would have to do that when you got into teaching?
Absolutely not.
One of the main issues educators have with lawmakers is what they call unnecessary and excessive standardized testing. That's changing every year and preventing students and schools from succeeding. What about the standardized testing is so detrimental to these students?
I've administered these tests, and you have students who are so anxious they're throwing up in trash cans.
Our calendar is so full with testing that there's really not very many opportunities to teach.
Well, and even when we were kids, the testing wasn't so high stakes that it didn't determine the kids' future. It didn't determine the teacher's pay. It didn't determine a letter grade for the school.
So they're marching around the State House for changes to education laws. Without these resources, is your fear that you will lose good teachers?
We are losing good teachers. We've already lost good teachers. We continue to lose good teachers.
Hoping lawmakers are listening. You don't feel heard?
No, not at all. Teachers haven't had a voice for a while.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And after the march, thousands went inside the State House where the rally continued. RTV6's Megan Singh-Torum was there and continues our team coverage.
With 2 stages and not an empty seat in sight, union and education leaders shared the message they want lawmakers to hear.
Fund our schools! Fund our schools! Fund our schools!
Between chants and stories, they took turns on stage. 2 unions, thousands of teachers.
I teach my students each and every day the importance of standing up for what they believe in, even if others don't agree with them. This is my real-life example to them.
Molly White is a second-year teacher at Decatur Township. In addition to teacher pay, she wants to see changes to the state testing requirements.
Educators, we need to be able to teach more and test less.
Others, like Ben Yoder from Fishers, echoed those concerns.
The pay is not good, the benefits aren't always good, and the constant criticism and respect are ridiculous.
There were a few representatives that joined the AFT on stage, along with State Superintendent Jennifer McCormick.
One of the reoccurring themes was that the work goes beyond just today. It is far from over.
This cannot be a one day and done. That does not help. This has got to be a movement that continues.
We've got more work to do, folks. Let's go do it.
Letting lawmakers know they'll be watching every bill they write.
We are putting every legislator on notice. You have a job to do, and that job is to protect our most valuable resource, our students. They deserve the best.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Well, state lawmakers say they're working hard to address teacher concerns, including pay and iLearn. RTV6's Kara Kenny spoke with lawmakers, asking them what's in the works for the upcoming legislative session.
Teachers here at the State House say they want more compensation and more money for public education. We took their concerns straight to state lawmakers to find out what they plan to do about it.
Tanya Pfaff is a state lawmaker and a math teacher.
What are you doing about the teacher concerns?
Well, I hope we do something. So I've been teaching for 27 years.
She plans to support legislation that would hold teachers harmless on iLearn test results, and she supports legislation eliminating an externship requirement for teacher licenses.
To me, that should definitely be taken care of. That should be a, hey, you can do this, you don't have to do it. So those are just a couple really big items that I myself will be fighting for.
We spoke with the chairman of both the House and Senate Education Committees, and they pointed out last legislative session they allocated a historic $763 million to school districts.
There's a lot of money in the system. Indiana number of teachers from 08 to 16 dropped 3.5%, but the number of administrators, according to National Center for Education and Statistics, actually increased by 31%. So, some of the decisions are made at a local level.
Should people be taking their concerns to their school boards as well?
I would definitely say that you should be talking to your school boards.
The General Assembly shouldn't shirk their responsibility, but neither should the local superintendent, the administration, as well as the school boards.
Teachers have asked the state to spend some of its surplus on education funding, but the upcoming legislative session is not a budget year, which means more money may have to wait until 2021. In the meantime, Senator Eddie Melton plans to set up a fund where dollars for teachers' salaries can be directed.
We have over nearly 80,000 teachers in the state of Indiana, but yet and still we're had the lowest and slowest salary growth in the nation since 2002.
Lawmakers we talk with say they heard the concerns of teachers today and plan to address them in the upcoming session. Reporting from the State House, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
And Senator J.D. Ford announced plans to file legislation that requires teachers to complete 15 hours of externships or other types of professional development to renew their teaching license. House Education Chair Robert Banning says it was meant to be an option, not a mandate, and the issue will be discussed in the upcoming session. The Next Level Teacher Compensation Commission may also make recommendations to state lawmakers for the upcoming session.
Every teacher has a story, and every teacher had a specific reason for attending that rally today.
RTV6's Alyssa Donovan continues our team coverage with more messages from educators for lawmakers.
Thousands of teachers filled the State House lawn today to take a stand for education. John Hurley drove 3.5 hours from the southernmost district in Indiana.
We've tried talking to our legislators. We've talked to the governors multiple times, or different governors multiple times, and just to get that, get the attention needed, it's had to come to this action at this point.
Teachers say the issues that led to this massive demonstration have been brewing for years.
Public funding for schools, standardized testing legislation, and the repeal of the 15 hours externship that they passed last session.
The discrepancy in how teachers used to be paid and how it's gone down. We're 51st as far as teacher increase in pay in the nation. And that's just tip of the iceberg.
Having my race linked to iLearn with my special education students who show growth but don't pass, that's a huge thing for my kids.
Educators say the concerns they're lobbying for are directly tied to the children in our state.
Our schools need funding so that we can provide the education they all deserve.
We're really trying to get out here and make sure that all of the kids in all of the cities and all the towns are getting all of the funding they need. It doesn't matter where you come from, you should be able to get a public education that is equitable and usable out there in the real world.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Dozens of school districts were closed or offered e-learning today so teachers could take part in the rally. But about half of the state's school districts remained open. Northwest Hendricks Schools was one of those districts. Some teachers did make the trip to the State House, but a Pittsboro elementary school, teachers and students in the classroom were still showing their Red for Ed support.
We just made the decision that we thought it was too short notice when we started talking about canceling, so we decided that we would show our support, but still being here with the kids. So.
We have teachers and students that are wearing red. We have some teachers that even made their own shirts for today. We're here supporting education and the needs of our students. We are here for learning, and we want to support our teachers who are promoting learning every day at our school.
In all, at least 146 school districts and corporations canceled classes or offered e-learning today. Many important issues were brought before lawmakers today. You can read about them in depth and take a look at the many photos shared with us to chronicle this day. That's at our website, theindychannel.com. In the midst of all the Red for Ed activity today at the State House, Speaker Brian Bosma announced that the upcoming session will be his last. He is retiring from the House of Representatives after the 2020 session. Bosma had served in the legislature since 1986 and has been Speaker of the House since 2005. He said today he will be the next national chairman of the Republican Legislative Campaign Committee, which is an organization that helps elect Republicans across the country. Today, Bosma said it won't be a specific vote or issue he'll remember most, but rather the people he worked with at the State House.
This is a remarkable place. Now, I may change my mind at the end of this session, right? But this is a remarkable place where we get along. We may disagree. We may disagree very much so, very strongly. But we cast a vote. We move on to the next item.
Bosma said the House Republicans will choose a new speaker-elect who will be slated to take over the role beginning in the 2021 session.
And all of those teachers out there for that rally today needed their rain gear, even though it started off beautiful this morning.
Up. It gives you false confidence. You know, we talked about the rain rolling in through the day. It's been fairly light rain. And guess what? I'm watching us right now on the RTV6 app.
You can also watch on Facebook Live as well.
And theindychannel.com. We got it going on. ABC, of course, is on live with the House impeachment hearing, so that's why we're joining you through all these other avenues. I am far more relaxed right now than on normal TV. 44, that's our temperature. 41 is the dew point. That's an indication of how humid it is. Obviously, drizzle still continues. This has been very light rain, enough to move the meter just a little bit in the rain gauge, 0.06 of an inch in Bloomington. Lots of clouds, the rain. Temperatures have moved very little again today. 44 is our current temperature, 47 in Muncie. We will see some fog, and we're into Bloomington. That's where we'll only drop a few more degrees through 11 o'clock to 4. Interesting day, and Friday night into Saturday as well coming up.
Well, the city of Indianapolis is facing a lawsuit tonight. Ambrose Property Group filed a lawsuit today in the growing battle over property on the West Sing plant after backing out of a plan to redevelop the 103-acre site in a project known as Waterside. Shortly after that, the city said it planned to use eminent domain to take control of the. Ambrose said its contract stated the city would not take the property through eminent domain. The city said it does not comment on pending litigation.
New developments about improvements Indigo will be making along the Red Line. Call 6 Investigates first told you earlier this month about the problems with the medians on College Avenue. All will have to be removed and replaced due to installation issues and people driving over them. Starting this week, those medians will be removed and replaced with concrete and will be in the bus lane, so it will not impact traffic. Now, Indigo will also be installing temporary battery boost chargers along the Red Line until permanent ones are installed at the end of the lines. Call 6 Investigates also large.
Indiana's unemployment rate continues to once again stand below the national average. The new report out today for the month of October shows it at 3.2%, unchanged from September. It's lower than a year ago at this time and lower than the national average of 3.6%. Indiana's number is also the lowest among our neighboring states of Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, and Michigan. It's another short week for the Colts. They'll be heading out of town to take on the Texans Thursday night.
It's a huge game with playoff implications. A big question remains tonight. Will T.Y. Hilton be back in action? Sports Director Dave First heard from T.Y. today. Dave.
Did Kevin say he's more relaxed? He's on Facebook.
More relaxed. Oh, not the
Oh, very
the button
relaxed.
and the pocket.
Wow.
Hey, good evening. Another an arrival, certainly in the AFC South, and if it's Houston, T.Y. Hilton's got to play, right? Well, he just might. The Colts with another walkthrough today. Not a full practice since this team just played last Sunday. That's really one of the drawbacks with games on a Thursday night. The bodies for these athletes are still beat up and sore from the previous game, so they're doing what they can to get ready to go again, and that just might include T.Y. The Colts receiver was not on the field during the portion we were out there and able to shoot, but he's been out with that calf injury that he suffered during practice last month. He's missed the last 3 games while recovering and feared really the worst when the injury happened last month.
Freak accident, I just was running like I normally do. I just ran the route earlier, and I ran and it kind of just scary moment. I was actually ahead of schedule.
Why has to play. He's made a career of playing against the Texans. 16 games, including last year's playoff game, over 1,600 receiving yards. Go back 5 years, had a career high 223 yards against them, 10 touchdowns and counting. Again, the Colts only conducted a walkthrough today, but they did release an injury report if they would have practiced. And on it are starters like Eric Ebron, Rock Ya-Sin, and Kerry Willis. None of them would have practiced today. And just added to the injury report, backup running back Jordan Wilkins with an ankle injury. The team leaves for Houston tomorrow, healthy or not. We'll hear from Jacoby Brissett, all new at 6.
A lot of relaxing on
Day
this
first,
newscast.
yeah, back to you guys.
I'm wondering if I get to not, I don't have to wear my heels then, or.
Oh no!
Come on, what's the
I
standard?
think this is long form TV. We can relax. We have no deadlines. What's on your mind is on our mind. We can just talk.
I think people want
Let's
the
chat.
7-day.
Does anyone believe all that?
Let's leave the jacket there.
No, it is funny though. Go ahead, Dave. You got something.
The jacket's going back on now. You're getting serious.
I got to be semi-professional.
During the weather.
Oh, now you want to be professional. I see. Okay.
All right. If we're this relaxed now, join us for the now. That starts at the bottom of the hour, and then we'll be back at 6 as well. Okay, some light rain showers. We handled it. More of a nuisance across central Indiana, especially those that were waiting in those long snaking lines that take them into the Capitol building today. The big red L, that's low pressure. A lot more cloud cover, showers around Thursday again, but what it will do is get the wind whipped up and draw in warmer temperatures. We should move into the upper 50s. This is, middle 50s, kind of backed off the upper 50s because of the showers. That'll have its big impact, but 54 Thursday down to 43 as we get to Friday and Saturday. The wind will be strong. I think we'll see wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour on Thursday. There's your increasing chance of rain on Thursday, not unlike today. We started off with a nice morning, and then the rain chances increase through the mid-morning and early afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow, the big change will be a few degrees warmer, but will be dry. The wind will be light tomorrow. Temperatures right around 50 degrees. The cloud cover in the morning tomorrow, hang in there. Still some clouds around at 1. Sometimes this takes longer than you think to clear things out, but forecast models do push the cloud shield into eastern Indiana right along the state line with Ohio. Temperatures mid-40s to around 50. That's your afternoon high expected. Thursday, notice what happens here with the wind. You can see it kind of curling. That's kind of depicting the sideways kind of rain you get when you have wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. That's likely to be the case on Thursday. Temperatures of around 54 degrees. The warmer it feels Thursday, the colder it will feel on Friday. Friday temperatures will fall. We won't have the warmer south wind that we have during the day Thursday. Look at how strong that is, even some 40-mile-per-hour gusts to the north. And then the rain comes in the morning hours into the afternoon. I think the main batch of heavier rain stays to the north. That's why we're looking at 1/10 of an inch or less in most cases. Thursday night into Friday morning, the door opens to the much colder air. Saturday and Sunday, and I'd say late Friday night, probably overnight as we go Saturday into Sunday, our chance for a rain-snow mix potentially. Here's your 7-day forecast. Once we're cool, we stay cool at least through Sunday. Then on Monday, dry back up to 51 degrees, 40% chance for some showers and temperatures at 53 as we get to Tuesday.
Cool, calm, and collected.
I'm calm at the edges and a little more uptight in the middle when I went over there to deliver the big forecast.
Now you're calm again?
Right.
I'm calm.
All right.
See you shortly.
Just chill. We'll see you in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and we are in a verdict watch in the case of the state of Florida versus defendant Henry Segura. This is a quadruple homicide case happening in Tallahassee, Florida. This is both a death penalty case and a retrial. The 41-year-old is accused of murdering his ex-girlfriend, Brandy Peters, her twin daughters, and the couple's 3-year-old son. Prosecutors say that Segura's motivation was avoiding possible jail time for roughly $23,000 that he owed owed in back child support. But the defense says that the brutal killings happened because Brandy Peters was stealing from a Mexican cartel. Gang leader and prison inmate James Carlos Santos told the jury that he's the one who ordered the hit on Peters and her children. Today, both sides presented their closing arguments, and now Segura's fate is in the hands of the jury. As always, you can count on Court TV for gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Well, you can learn more about the other cases around the nation right now at courttv.com.
Two big concert announcements today with very different appeals.
The Grammy Award-winning Doobie Brothers announced that they're bringing their 50th anniversary tour to Central Indiana. They'll make a stop at Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville in Thursday, July 30th. Tickets go on sale Friday, December 6th at 10 a.m.
And coming to Indianapolis in February, Post Malone. He's launching the second leg of his Runaway Tour in 2020 and will be in concert at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Sunday, February 9th. Tickets go on sale Friday at 9 a.m.
All new at 6 o'clock, Call 6 Investigates uncovers a growing problem in Indiana classrooms. Teachers getting hurt by the hundreds. We find out what's happening and what's being done to address this.
But first on the Now, Indy shining light on a big project to remember and honor the two teens murdered in Delphi. You're watching RTV6. We'll be back at 5:30.